The Woman King was directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, and it stars the legendary Viola Davis as General Naniska. And this is a historical epic set in West Africa in the year 1823. All these elements put together sound like the makings of a historical epic classic. So basically there's this group of all-female warriors that protects the African kingdom of Dahomey with skills and fierceness unlike anything the world has ever seen. And faced with a brand new threat, General Naniska, played as I mentioned by Davis, trains the next generation of recruits to fight against a foreign enemy that's determined to destroy their way of life. And there's some other little emotional elements that I dare not get into with this video, but I was seeing rave reviews for this thing, so I was going into this with some pretty high expectations. Gina Prince-Bythewood is a director I feel like is going to be a name to watch out for years to come. Her last film, The Old Guard, which released on Netflix a couple of years ago at the peak of the COVID pandemic, and also one of the first movies I ever reviewed on this channel back in the day. She showed with that film that she can be a pretty darn good director. And I think she shows it once again with The Woman King. She definitely has a brilliant mind when it comes to visual storytelling. Her shot composition is so great. The atmosphere of The Woman King is something to behold. And she really makes you feel like you're there with these warriors. She really makes you feel like you have been transported back in time to this moment. And the production design, a really brilliant score, also certainly helps matters here. But I feel like just in terms of the visuals and just plain old story, Gina Bythewood hit the nail right on the head. And that brings me to another big strength of The Woman King, the overall story. This isn't just a war movie with some bloody action or anything like that. The given circumstances as to why these women are here, the given circumstances behind General Naniska, heartbreaking. And especially when the plot thickens about halfway through this movie, when you learn some things about a young girl that General Naniska is training, it really adds a whole new dimension to a war movie and what a war movie can be. And I think they do a brilliant job capturing all of that stuff in the story. Even the romance that I feel like some people may kind of look at it with some hesitancy. I thought even the romance had some moral dilemmas that really makes the audience think. I was really digging this movie. And the acting as well. Oh my god, the acting. Probably one of the biggest strengths of this movie as well. Viola Davis is a freaking inspiration. She has already proven herself to be a legend. She has multiple Oscar nominations and wins to her name already. But man, does she carry herself with so much fierceness. This is a character that is on the warpath of revenge. And it very much feels like a hero's journey, very similar to Robert Eggers' The Northman, which released this past spring. Except we're looking at a whole different generation when it comes to The Woman King. Viola Davis really is a living legend. I loved her in this film. I really did appreciate the work of the young girl in this movie as well. She certainly held her own with an icon like Viola Davis, and I think she's certainly going to be an actress to watch out for. My favorite character in this movie perhaps was played by Lashana Lynch, who I thought was a lot of fun. This basically, how I see it, this is a character that's basically what would happen if Mary Poppins was this fierce warrior. Now hear me out on this. The only reason why is because this character has a line that says to the young girl, "Close your mouth, you look like a fish." And what is it that Mary Poppins says? "Close your mouth, Michael, we are not a called fish." I don't know, that may be a shot in the dark, certainly, but Lashana Lynch, I thought, was such a badass in here. Very emotional story beats for her as well. Every actor certainly brought it. John Boyega is in this movie as well, and I had no idea until I saw him on the big screen, and it was certainly a very welcome surprise. I think he added a lot to this movie as well. He certainly carries himself with a lot of regality. Certainly a very different role from Finn, that's for sure. Now I know what you may be thinking. Good direction, really good production design, the costumes are immaculate, the acting is just off the charts. May sound like The Woman King is one of my favorite movies of the year. And unfortunately, I feel like there's a couple of big things that are gonna hold this movie back for me. And surprisingly enough, one of those things was the action. I felt for a big historical war epic that was gonna be on the lines of like a Gladiator or a Braveheart, this action was extremely choreographed to me. At least that's how I saw it. I'm sure there's gonna be people out there that disagree with me when I say this, but this is a movie that's built around revenge, and this is a movie that's built around two feuding tribes just coming together. It's supposed to be this gigantic bloodbath, right? But a lot of these kills are made by tricks. The Old Guard, also directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, is a movie that suffers from the same problem. Even though it's fun action, it does feel to a point, especially when you go back and rewatch the movie. It's honestly, yeah, that action and those fights are very choreographed as well. It's not to say that they're choreographed poorly, but when there's a movie with a blood feud like this, it shouldn't really come off like this is just some big performance. It should really feel like these people are trying to get at each other. And there's certainly some points where the movie feels like that towards the end. But man, it takes a few fights of some really nice choreography to get there. And that's another big thing, guys. This is a movie that was probably going to be along the same lines of Gladiator or Braveheart, two of my favorite historical epics of all time. Both of those movies are rated R, and they are extremely brutal. The Woman King, unfortunately, only holds a PG-13 rating, which was very disappointing for me to find out, because I just feel like just looking at that rating, it's only holding the movie back from reaching its fullest potential that it could have reached. A blood feud like this, there should have been just massacres everywhere. It's a pretty hard PG-13 rating as it is. Some people do get beheaded in this movie, but the action certainly is not as brutal as it could have been. And I honestly feel like that also leads to the movie over-editing itself, mainly to cover up the big gigantic bloodbath that's unfolding before our eyes. So despite some issues I had with the action and the editing, I thought The Woman King was a very, very strong film. Certainly maybe a tad overlooked here in the month of September, but nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and give The Woman King a B+. I'm very, very excited to see what Gina Prince-Bythewood does next. Viola Davis is, again, so incredible in this role. If you're a fan of Viola Davis, I highly recommend that you guys check this one out. What did you guys think of The Woman King? Let me know all your thoughts and then some down in the comment section below, because honestly, I love what I do here. I love discussing all brand new things, movies and television with you guys. This is the magic of it. Everybody's gonna have different opinions on certain new releases. Getting to hear those from you guys just makes this all the more fun for me. So if you guys are new viewers, do consider smashing that red subscribe button down below. Click on that notification bell as well so you don't miss a second more of the action. And feel free to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. That would be tremendous, tremendous help as well. And guys, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting the channel in the very near future. I'm going to try and crank out as much content as I can before going on a trip in about a week and a half. But after I get back, we are full throttle into October, and you know what that means. Talking a lot of scary movies that month, and I'm very, very excited to share with you the list for this year's Halloween special very, very soon. All that's left to do is stay tuned for more, my friends. Thank you all so very much for tuning into this video, and with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.